Hi.
Hey, Asia.
Hi, sister. Are we like um
Yeah, we are live. We
okay,
we had a few technical challenges,
we
but
did.
we are live. We
Yes,
are
we are
live.
here. Team AC.
Uh, Team AC, yes, and we are both Team AC. You were
hmm
Team AC. Well, you still Team AC, but you were in AC before you got married.
I was. This is true. Absolutely.
Yep, yep, yep. So yeah, we had some a few technical hiccups, and it's a Friday, but we are here. Thank God, and look at God. So we are here. Our lighting looks good. Um,
Great.
yeah, I'm just happy to be here on a good Friday. Everyone, welcome to the platform. Welcome to Team AC with Aliya Crawford, where we speak to interesting people about interesting things. Joining us today is my sister, biological, Asia Barton. Asia is a real estate investor, a high profile makeup artist, and a female boss. Last but not least, she's also a wonderful wife and mother and a great sister. So
Mhm.
we just wanted to kick off Mother's Day weekend. Welcome to the platform, Asia.
Thank you so much for having me, sister. Good to be here, everyone. Hi. This is so weird.
Yes, we wanted to do something special for the ladies, what we call makeup and chill. So Asia is going to walk us through a nice makeup look that the ladies and all of us can try on Mother's Day, this or sometime this weekend. Something
Yes.
nice and easy, soft glam that is good for day or night.
Yes.
And we're also going to just talk about a little bit about business, Asia's business as a real estate investor, and how she juggles everything with being a wife and mother of three teenagers, mind you. And there's somewhat of stair steps. And then we're going to talk about also just life and mothers. Both of us are mothers. I'm a stepmother, and we're going to celebrate our mothers and all of the moms out there.
Absolutely. Hi, guys, everyone. I'm so excited because I love to talk about makeup. And I think that this weekend is a great way. So, say you've been kind of passing by, you're a mom, and you've been doing all sorts of things for everybody else. This weekend is a a great outlet and a great time to really focus on you. And I think that if you look good, you just feel better for yourself, not for everyone around you, but sometimes for yourself. And I just think that it's fun and it's playful and it's again a great weekend to start. So this is a great idea. We should do it every weekend.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And so before we get into the makeup demo,
Yeah.
if you're just joining us, this is Team AC with Aliya Crawford. My baby sister, Asia Barton, is joining us tonight. My big sister was on the platform last week, and we were talking about mental health. Now we are
Yes.
going into Mother's Day. We are celebrating ourselves, mothers. We're celebrating the mothers out there. And remember to please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. So let's get started, Asia. Why don't you just kick it off and just let everybody know just some basic supplies they should have for makeup, and
Super.
to don't be intimidated. Makeup can be very easy. Everybody can do a signature look. Everybody can do a nice, simple 20-minute face. But what basic supplies should you have if you don't do your makeup often or don't really know a lot about makeup?
Sure, absolutely, Aaliyah. So, price point really doesn't matter in makeup. Like, you can make your face look really, really pretty with a budget, within your budget. Drugstore makeup has really gotten good. So once you start there, even your skincare, it all starts with skincare. And again, it doesn't have to be a luxury high-end brand. It can be a very, very inexpensive brand to start with skincare. You want to do invest in good brushes. And when I say good brushes, brushes again have gotten very much better throughout the years in terms of you
Mhm.
do not have to spend a lot for quality makeup brushes. So just having good brushes and your hands are a great, great tool. Speak and really treat your skin well. So when you're putting on your makeup, really, let your fingers massage your skin and just really glide across your skin. Don't pull, don't tug. So your fingers are great and your hands are a great, great, great tool for makeup. So that's really it. It
Because
does not cost a lot.
makeup is art.
It's art.
And you're an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Makeup is artistry. So your hands are a part of that instrument, and it's another way for you to
Yes.
express yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, makeup, there's a lot of great products out there over the past few
Yep.
decades. The products that are available to Black women and women of color have gotten much, much better. And you
Yes.
don't have to spend a fortune, and you don't have to have a ton of product, because
Mm-hmm.
some people, they just like, a look that is their signature look,
Yep.
and they do it every day, or they do it on
Yep.
special occasions, and it's very easy for them to do. So if you have just a basic set of brushes for
Mm-hmm.
your face and your cheeks and your eyebrow and your eyes, and then you have your makeup, your lipstick or lip gloss, blush. I always say, you definitely want to have some foundation. You have
Yes.
your eyeshadow,
Mm-hmm.
if you do your brows, your eyebrow powder or stick, eyeliner, mascara, and then you can add to your makeup kit, your arsenal as needed, like with
Mm-hmm.
bronzers and highlighters and all the, extras. So
The
let's get
extras.
into it, Asia.
Sure.
We
Mm-hmm.
are celebrating moms.
Mm-hmm.
Happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to everyone. Aaliyah, stepmom, everybody, my sister, everybody, happy Mother's Day. This is your weekend to enjoy it. So again, let's really keep this thing rolling. We should do this every Friday, just makeup should be
Yes.
very relaxing. It's almost like therapy. You sit there and look in the mirror and don't worry and don't focus on, your problems. Focus on just making yourself feel better and really makeup is actually it should be fun, honestly.
And it
So
can
yeah.
be also
Therapeutic.
for
Mhm.
women, in addition to taking care of your face, your skin, which is very
Yes.
important, and your body
Mhm.
inside and out. Makeup is just an extension of that. It's like fashion. And so,
Absolutely.
we're going to get started, but we're
Sure.
going to this I don't like to say the word dedicate because it has dead in it, but we're this episode is in honor of my stepmother and Asia's mother, Valina Crawford, who passed
Mhm.
away in 2019. And we love her and appreciate her. She's always here with us, and she
Mhm.
taught us so many great things. And she was a fashion girly and a makeup girly and a nail girly. So she was, a fly girl. So this episode is um, for her. Is to her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I get it from my mama. She had a huge, huge vanity, and I was like 4 years old just sitting and she had makeup, perfume, jewelry, lashes. I mean, everything. So I really have a piece of that and I really carry that with me. So let's get started with what you would do. So after really, really good skincare, again, affordable, it can be a cleanser, a moisturizer, an inexpensive toner, whatever. You want to prime your skin with a foundation primer. It is not an it is a primer is optional. You don't have to do primer, but it will help to increase your makeup's longevity. So I really love the Elf. It's called Elf Power Grip. This one has a little bit of a niacinamide, and it will give your skin like a nice little glow as well.
All right. Sorry, I don't
Mhm.
have any primer,
That's okay.
ladies and gentlemen, but go ahead. Let's get with the primer.
Let's
A
do our
primer is
primer.
good. Having that good foundation is always good. It's going to help your makeup to last longer throughout your day or night.
Mhm. Yep. It just almost creates a barrier between your foundation that you're putting on in your skin. So it creates almost like a smooth canvas. And primers come in different formulas, hydrating, if your skin is dry, oil absorbing if you have super oily skin. You do want to kind of
Mhm.
get a primer for your skin type. But again, it just prevents your makeup from sinking into your skin, therefore increasing your makeup longevity. So it is really nice. And then in terms of
I'm going to
another,
start on my foundation.
you're going to start your
Oh, I'm
foundation,
sorry.
and
Go
I'm
ahead.
just going to,
Thank you.
yep, this is
Mhm.
a glow product. So after your primer, you can put on a little bit of a glow product. This one again is the Elf. I have the Charlotte Tilbury as well, but these are glow products, and you're just going to layer this before your foundation to give your skin a nice glow. And this is even nice for oily girls because you're going to set everything with your foundation and all of your powders. But you still want your skin, even if you are oily, you do want your skin to still have a semi glow. And you can also keep your shine at bay if that makes sense. It doesn't really matter if you're
Right.
oily. Hmm.
But you don't want to, have a dry face. Some people I can understand, especially if you have naturally oily skin,
Right,
you don't want that shine, and if you're going to be taking photos and video,
right,
but you don't want your skin to look dry either, and that could
right.
age you, especially if you are a person of a certain age.
Exactly, exactly. It's like almost like people who are oily don't think that they need moisturizer, and actually you do need moisturizer. There's a myth that, oh, I'm oily, I'm going to be shiny in an hour or so and I don't need moisturizer. No, you still need a good moisturizer because it helps to smooth your skin and hydrate your skin. Everybody needs to be hydrated. You could still be oily and be dehydrated.
Yeah, and I'm struggling with my foundation, ladies and
Uh-huh.
gentlemen, because I needed to get
Why?
some new foundation. I'm out, but I'm gonna make it do what it do. I probably don't have as much as I would like to have right now on
Okay.
this wonderful Friday, but I'm gonna make it work.
You make it work. This is how we roll. What foundation do you have? I know you're making it work, but what do you have, Aaliyah?
This is Clinique Stay Matte Oil Free Makeup,
Okay.
and I like their shades, and I like the texture of their foundation and the coverage. So,
Yes.
like Asia has shown, you can start with a primer. And then what was the second product you used, Asia, after the primer?
So
The
these are
glow?
really glow products. So this one is the Charlotte Tilbury. This one is like $54. And comparatively, this e.l.f. is just as good, honestly. I'm a makeup artist, like Aaliyah said, and I keep this one in my kit. Like a lot of us swear by this one, and this one's
And
like
e.l.f. is a
$14.
discount product, but they
Mhm.
have a lot of it's a discount brand, but they have a lot of quality products. I
Yes,
can
they
second
do.
that. So, if you don't do that, those are really good starts for everybody, especially the primer, and then the glow gives you, some added, layering, and, it's gonna illuminate the skin. But if you don't have all that, you just have a foundation,
Mhm.
you could start with your liquid foundation. Some people
Yeah,
don't have powder, and if you just I mean, I'm sorry, some people don't use liquid foundation, or they're kinda
yeah.
intimidated by it, and they may just have a pressed powder, and that's fine too, especially if it's just like an everyday makeup look. But
Mhm.
when you are getting dressed up for a special occasion, holidays, going to a party, a wedding, what have you, or you're gonna be
Yes.
taking pictures, you want to find a good liquid foundation,
Yes.
find your right shade, find something that's good for your skin and the right amount of coverage, depending on your skin type, your age, whether or not you
Yes.
may struggle, have some skin issues. But it's good to have that foundation because it really does give you the coverage you want when you're going to be doing, a
Doing a
full
thing.
look
Yes,
and
doing a
taking
full look.
photos and stuff.
Absolutely. And you can also go for a tinted moisturizer if you want a little
Hmm.
sunscreen, because remember, every day we have to protect our skin. And so you can
Yeah.
use a tinted moisturizer. A lot of the brands have come out with, you'll see a tinted moisturizer. Really, really, really
Hmm.
lightweight coverage. It is still foundation, ladies, but we call it tinted moisturizer. So very, very sheer coverage,
Hmm.
but a nice, smooth finish to the skin. You can absolutely do that.
And you're right. And if you don't use the tinted moisturizer, make sure you're using some sort of moisturizer after you cleanse your face.
Yes.
And that moisturizer should have some sort of sunscreen in it, SPF or whatever. It
Yes.
doesn't matter how much melanin you have in your
Mhm.
skin. You still need to protect your skin from the sun.
Absolutely.
'Cause those UV rays are real, skin cancer is
Mhm.
real, all that stuff. So make sure you're
Abs-
using your sunscreen on your face and on your body too when you're going to be out in the sun. Okay.
Absolutely, Aaliyah. Now you can see I keep rubbing my lips together because I do put a little foundation on my lips and a little, you can do a little concealer, but I like to put a little foundation on my lips. It just kind of gives the lipstick a nice base as well. Just a little touch. And my lips are really dry anyway, so I like to put a balm, like a lip balm on first before I do makeup anyway. But I just use, and you can probably see, I'm probably a little bit glowy, but I use the NARS, the light reflecting foundation. But I'm a dry person, like I have drier skin. And so I'm still going to mattify myself and still powder anyway. But if you are noticing some dewiness, that's why I'm using like a dewy foundation.
Okay, and also, ladies, make sure you get underneath your chin. Make sure that's
Hmm.
well blended into your ear areas. You don't want a line. And how much? foundation you put on is, it's up to you and it's depending on what you're
Of course.
doing. Everybody's skin chemistry is different, right? So people absorb makeup at varying degrees. Some people's makeup lasts without much on, some people's don't, so they may put more layers. And you may ask yourself, like, why is she talking so much? Like, I thought we were doing a tutorial with Asia. But I've been doing makeup myself for a very long time, since I was about 2 years old. So I know a little thing.
And
I could beat
Aaliyah
my
knows a
face
little
with
something.
BB.
Yes,
A
absolutely.
little something, something. But
Mhm,
Asia is a professional makeup artist.
mhm,
She's also a celebrity makeup artist. She's done
mhm.
makeup for people including Patti LaBelle and Jill Scott and Floetry and Tyrese. And she's also, she specializes in weddings and proms and special event makeup.
Yes,
And she's been
yes.
doing makeup professionally since she was a teenager. And she's worn a number of different hats in the makeup industry
Mhm.
and worked with a number of, very big brands. So,
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, tomorrow I'm doing a boudoir photo shoot. So those are really great for women. That is, upcoming Mother's Day weekend. A photo shoot. Now, it doesn't
mhm.
have to be, risque or whatever, but even just take a couple pictures of yourself, looking pretty. I mean, again, if you look good, you feel good. It really does
A-
work that way.
And also, when you have your face done, when you do your face, you're
Yeah.
going to want to just take photos with your cell phone, and they're
Yes.
going to come out great. They're gonna come out
Hmm.
a little bit better. I'm just being
Hmm.
honest.
Hmm.
They're gonna probably be cute anyway. I'm just saying. I'm sure, we all cute, but they're gonna come out better when you put a little something on your
Little
face, and it
something,
doesn't have to
something.
be much.
No,
So
absolutely.
did you put your foundation on yet,
I
Asia?
did. Like I said, I'm really dewy. I need to get myself powdered down, but I did put my
No, it looks
foundation on.
beautiful.
Thank you.
All right.
Yours
So
too.
what's next? What's next?
So, as a makeup tip, we like to typically I don't do foundation first on clients. On myself, it just depends.
Yeah,
But I do move on to
and
the
I always
eyes
do
next.
foundation
You
first.
do,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Most people
Okay.
used to do it that way,
But I'm
but
I'm gonna follow your
uh,
lead because I've been.
sure.
This is my show, but I know I've been.
So I'm just gonna take a little concealer and just apply it all over my eyelid, and that will act as a base for my eyeshadow. And we're not gonna do too much shadow on this live tonight. We're gonna do a little bronzer on our lids just for quickness, But a concealer on the lid basically preps the eye for whatever shadow you're gonna do. And what what you can also do is you can take a skinny brush, and if you need to give your eyebrows a little carving and a little shape or clean up, if you need a wax or a thread, you can just put
Yep, or pluck.
or pluck. Yep, you can put the concealer all over your lid, but concentrate a little bit under the brow, over as well. You can do over, but definitely under, and that really gives you a
A-
nice clean look.
Okay, Asia, I'm not going to use the bronzer on my lids just because my allergies have been bothering me lately, and
Mhm.
the bronzer is a little looser, my bronzer. So just give me an alternative when we get to that point
Sure.
of I have, various shadows here.
Yep,
And I need some cream shadows, but I have to pick some of that up.
that's fine.
So, like you were saying, you're doing a makeup for a photo shoot tomorrow, a boudoir
Tomorrow,
shoot.
boudoir, yes, a boudoir shoot tomorrow. So it's just someone probably looking to, make herself feel better. I have no idea who she is. I'm just going there to do the makeup and a little light hair. But again, it's a great weekend, to do something like that for yourself.
And also this weekend is my niece's, Asia's daughter's birthday, and then next
Yes.
weekend is my nephew, one of her son's birthdays. So, like, how do you juggle being a wife, being a mom? Look at my fingers, they're so dirty. Being a wife and being a mom and being a businesswoman, an entrepreneur at that.
Well, I do have a little help. I have a really, really good husband. And so it's literally a juggling act. So, can you pick this person up? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm always on the phone texting, coordinating things. But we have a well oiled machine because we do have three teenagers, it wasn't always like that. But it is really a juggling act. And now the children are bigger, so my daughter actually cooks. So she's like, "All right, mom, listen, I can cook dinner tonight." I'm like, "Great, that's perfect." My sons can cook as well. They just like burgers, really. So we don't, but they can get down a little bit as well. So everybody just kind of pulls their weight and understands the situation.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and helping with the cleaning and everything. Teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does. It really does, because we're entrepreneurs. So some days, if we're at a project or a property, or we have tenants and they give us a call, and my husband and I have to run out the door, then they know, okay, let me kind of pull my weight in this way. We don't have like a traditional, you clock in at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're done at, a 9 to 5. We don't have that. So it gets a little, you just have to be flexible and learn how to adjust.
Yeah, and it's important though, to have everybody pitch in. I think,
Yep.
to give the kids their responsibilities so that they learn that independence and they, just learn to support their family.
Hmm.
And then also, I think if you're an entrepreneur, having your kids work with you and come along with you, it develops, a certain spirit in them. Like, my niece, she's a young entrepreneur. She's a wonderful, fabulous baker. And so she started her baking business,
Yes. Right in the
with
kitchen, our
cookies
kitchen.
and all types of stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. So,
Hmm.
all right, Asia, what are we doing with our eyes now? You
I'm
said you're using
I'm
bronzer, but
using
tell me what I should do.
I love a little, and Aaliyah, you can do one eyeshadow color, but I like when I'm short on time. I just like to throw a little bronzer on my eyelid, and make sure you kind of extend the bronzer or the one shadow out a little bit past the eye. But
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very easy. As moms, sometimes we're short on time. And so this is a nice, quick way to kind of look put together and put a little something on your lid so they're not bare. Um, so just do the one color.
Nice light color. And I'm like the queen of one shadow,
Yeah.
on my lid just when it's a day, to like basic day look, or like a quick look when I'm in a rush. I'll just, do a
Yep.
one shade on my lid, and line my eyes,
All
mascara,
day.
lip gloss or lipstick, and blush.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I just did. This is a NARS palette,
Okay.
and I just
One color.
doing the one
Yep.
shade. I'm gonna add to it,
Hmm.
but I'm just
Yeah. And this, we're just going to throw on a little liner. So I'm using the Benefit. It's like a liquid eyeliner, but I do like powder liner some days for a little bit of a softer look. But today I'm just going to go ahead and line with a
mhm.
liquid. What do you like to line with, Aaliyah?
I usually prefer to line with powder if it's under on my bottom,
Okay.
underneath, the bottom here, under that lash, because then it tends not to smudge, and it lasts, and you don't have to worry about that. But I do usually prefer liquid liner on the top lid because it just gives you that definition.
Yes.
It's usually darker, and
It is more pigmented,
but for
right? Yeah, more
but for
pigmented.
people who may not be as good with lining their eyes,
Mhm.
it might be easier to work with um the powder eyeliner.
Yes, yes,
What do you
exactly.
think?
Because if you
Because everybody
smudge,
can't really.
yeah, the pen is
Mhm.
harder. Some people like a brush or a liquid eyeliner pen. So you just have to pick what works for you. There's a little learning curve with both. But I would suggest trying to get as close as possible to where your lash hairs grow. So always, so you don't want your eyeliner like any kind of separation. You want to try to get it as close to the lash line as possible. That's a really good guide. But if you feel as though you still can't do liquid eyeliner or even pencil eyeliner, some people struggle with pencil, a powder is really good, because if you can soften it, it looks almost like smudged, like you smudged it anyway.
And
You know,
and what's the best way for
Mm.
somebody to clean up a mistake with eyeliner and mascara if they're, working on their eyes? How can they clean it
Q-tips,
up and start
Q-tips.
over?
Have a Q-tip handy with a little eye makeup remover on it handy. Q-tips are your best friend. Absolutely, Q-tips.
Yeah, and Q-tips also are a good substitute if you don't have eye makeup brushes. You can use Q-tips.
You can use good old Q-tips. Hey, listen, you could pull out a sponge tip applicator, whatever you choose to pull out, just to get the shadow on. Absolutely. I'm not knocking
Mhm.
anybody's thing. just to get it on, slap it on.
Let's talk about brows a little bit too, because people love their brows, even for people who don't do like eye makeup, eyeshadow. A lot of people do a liner, mascara, and they like to define their brows.
Brows are definitely my thing. I have been loving, I want to show you guys. I've been using this. This one is almost done. This is the NYX Brow Gel, and I like a good pencil. So I kind of go between the e.l.f., which is like $3. I believe this is like the number one sold eyebrow pencil in the drugstore, last I checked. And this is $3. This is e.l.f. And then I do love Anastasia and Benefit for my brows. And then I like to fluff them because the fluffy brow trend is really a thing. I don't think that's going anywhere. So you want to use an eyebrow gel. So like I said, the NYX is a really good one. And I like the Anastasia. Just so you guys
And
can,
yes, and we love our
we
brows.
love
Us
our brows.
Crawford girls
We
love
got,
our brows.
we
Like
love our brows.
we inherit our brows from our father,
Yes. He is the, he's the
and
brow.
don't mess with our brows, baby, because we are proud of our thick brows.
We love our brows, our thick
I,
brows. Thank you. Yeah. So this is the e.l.f. This
mhm.
is the laminate, the brow laminating kind of like bushy fluffer. So our brows can go up. I mean, mine do. I don't know about yours, Aaliyah, but they can go pretty straight. Like push them up, and then I usually push them up and then try to kind of like smooth out the hair. Some people like the hairs to stick straight up,
Mhm.
like a more laminated look, but mine go a little crazy. So I just kind of take it and just kind of glide over just to kind of tame them a
Yeah,
bit.
I think you and Amber's might be a little the wildest, and yours might be a little wild.
Yeah.
Mine, they kind of, they smooth. They're relatively smooth. They, a little bit
hmm
unruly, slightly, but they're pretty smooth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
All
those are
right.
those two
So,
parts.
in addition to being a makeup artist, and she's
Mhm,
really great at that, she has a business. She's a real
mhm,
estate investor. Her
mhm,
realtors, they're also real investors. Tell us all about that, and also
mhm.
talk to the people about like that field, because a lot of people are interested in real estate, and maybe um what are we doing next though? Let's start the next. I'm gonna just keep working on my
Are you still on your eyes?
eyes.
Okay, so before I get into that, so I would next do our concealer so we can get into that and then talk. So do you want to grab your concealer, Aaliyah?
Yes, so just hold off on my eyes where we were with it.
No, are you done your eyes? Are you finished? Oh, you have to put mascara on. I have a little lash on today, but the next step would definitely be mascara.
And I'm gonna keep just talk about
Mhm,
real estate, and I'm gonna do some eyeliner underneath my eye powder.
mhm,
I'm going to use some eyeshadow,
mhm.
and then I'm going to add a shade in my crease.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
let's talk about your career, how long you've been doing real estate. Like, for people who are interested in that field, like any advice you could share about kind of getting into real
Sure,
estate.
absolutely. So we have been doing real estate for 15 years at a minimum, 20 years. I mean, I'm sorry, 15 years minimum, about almost 20. And a lot of people are very interested in buying properties, and they think that it is a lot of work, transforming a property, but there's various ways that you can, I call it cash flow, deal flow, like make money off of properties. We also help, I love seeing people, putting people in homes and selling their homes. So we help buyers and sellers as well because home ownership should be a real flex, although, at some point in your life. And unfortunately, now, you know, it is rates are a little bit, they're kind of where they are, but hopefully it'll be attainable. Like home ownership should definitely be attainable. There are all kinds of grants to help people get access to a home, especially in Philadelphia. If you live in Philadelphia, there are all kinds of grants, but we do all aspects of real estate. So helping people, investing in properties ourselves, And we've just learned the business, and it takes money, obviously, to make money. So you do have to invest. It's called real estate investing for a reason. And that's really it. You want to see a return on your investment. You want to get the numbers really down to a science, because at the end of the day, you do have to make money. Um, and that's it. Mhm.
Absolutely. And home ownership is important, like you said,
Mhm.
because for Americans and I think in many places around the world,
Yeah.
that is usually like the primary source of one's wealth, not their income, but their
No.
overall net worth and wealth.
Mhm.
And but there's a lot of creative things that people can do. It's better when interest rates are low. I loved the proposal that Vice President Harris had
Yes.
put forth about, helping people with down payment money, which is important because, not everyone has those large sums that are sometimes
Right.
required for down payments. But there's lots of creative things people can do to get
Yes.
themselves invested in the real estate market. I know a lot of people, will buy a multifamily home and then they'll live in
Live
one
in.
part of the home and rent out the other part, and that is
Absolutely.
a way, that rent may cover the whole mortgage.
Yep. I always tell first
Sometimes
time home
people.
buyers to do
Yeah.
that, Aaliyah. Just that, buy a duplex, buy, something where you can rent out the second unit. Of course, make money off of that as your first
Mhm.
property. But and I was looking forward to, our prospective, president and her plan, but that didn't happen. But you can always call a mortgage lender to figure out, some creative financing, to get yourself into a home, because some people just simply, they're like, well, I don't think I can. And then they qualify. And then they're like, wow, I didn't think that I actually could get in. Like, my credit score or whatever, you only need like about a 580 for certain financing, FHA financing, and a 620. And then there's ways, around that as well. So it just all depends on your specific situation. But some people just really think
Yeah.
that they don't qualify, and they actually qualify. You just have to speak to a lender,
Yeah.
and you can call a lender for a consultation at any time.
And then you can also, while you're working on these different things, just, try to make sure your credit is as high as possible,
Yes.
pay down debt, pay off debt.
Don't be
And
late.
because yes, and
One
the
thing
better
that you
your
do is
credit
don't be late.
score is,
Yeah.
the better rate you're going to be eligible for. Even when they're high, you're
Yeah.
going to be eligible for a lower rate than
Yes.
others might so that
Yes.
makes a difference. Every point makes a difference on your credit score.
Yes, it really does. Every point. And don't, you can take time. If you can call, and a lender or somebody good with credit can help you. We help people with credit as well. What do I need to do? Here's my credit report. And I think I need to do X, Y, and Z. And some
Yeah.
things take
And
time, and
and
you
and
just work
and
on
people, they're experts like Asia and her husband and other credit experts, companies that can, give you that advice to get that score up and get it up, in a decent amount of time.
it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I put a darker shade right, like all in my crease of my eyelid, and then I'm gonna just put like a little like brighter color, like a shimmery color on the bottom of my lid just to make it pop a little bit.
Yep. I'm on to the next. I'm just doing a little concealer under my eyes, and don't be afraid to slap it on. And then I did a little contour, which is why I look like a soldier. But when you are going to do your contour, the tragus part of your ear, essentially where you have that little tragus right here, is a really good guide to guide you for contour. So that's a really good guide. You don't want it to fall much lower than that and much higher than that either, really. It's a
Tell
good.
everybody why the concealer is important, especially when you're
Mhm.
taking photos. Everybody doesn't know in video, everybody doesn't know like the purpose of concealer and what it does.
So concealer is really meant to obviously cover imperfection. So if you have an imperfection or a redness, concealer is great for that. But concealer really should be a little bit brighter than your actual skin tone, 1 to 2 shades lighter. Now, on an everyday basis, you might not want to do that, because you might not need to do that every day. But generally speaking, your concealer should be a little bit brighter than your actual skin tone, because you want to brighten up the area. You want to brighten up your under eye. You want to brighten in here, around the chin area. These are areas and parts of the face that you want to appear a little bit brighter than the rest of your skin. So those
And
are the main
concealer is
reasons.
yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
concealer is good because it covers, helps conceal dark
Yep.
circles under your eyes that you
Dark
may
circles.
have.
Yep.
Um, you may have certain, skin conditions that cause dryness or discoloration. You may have some scars from acne or bumps or an actual darkness from an actual scar that you have on your face that you want to cover.
For sure. And don't forget correctors too. So if you're really somebody who's like really super dark, some people it's hereditary. They just have really, really dark under eyes. You can start with a corrector first. And so you can
Mhm.
do, a corrector to knock out kind of any blueness. If you think about makeup, you have to think about a color wheel. And that's kind of like peach takes out blue, or most dark circles are blue base, or purple base. And so if you just look up the coordinating opposing, well, that doesn't make sense, but the opposite color on a color wheel, it
Like
will
the
work.
corresponding.
The corresponding, right, on the color wheel, then you're going to know that, all right, peach, like I said, will take out blue. Um, Green takes out red. So it's really just based off of that. So dark circles again are typically blue based or purple based. So you can use a little corrector before you apply your concealer. Yep. Looking good, looking good. We're looking good. We're feeling great. I just use this LYS. This is called Liss in the shade Harmony. This is a really good contour. I do love this and I love the Rare Beauty one, but tonight I have this one. So this is nice and triangular. That's why I like this, if you guys can see this one. So it really hugs the contours of your face because of the shape.
Now I had a contouring kit and I ran out. And so I'm ghetto sometimes with stuff, but you can substitute with a lot of different makeup. So because I don't have any contour, I don't have any dark, I have concealer for the
Okay.
highlights, but I'm going to use some brown eyeshadow.
Sure. Listen, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. It's all good. So if anyone is interested, this is my whole, like, this is just a fraction of my makeup. So sometimes people tell you what they're doing, but they won't show you. Like, this is a basket
Mhm.
full of makeup that I use for videos and things like that. And then I have obviously my makeup that I use on clients, which is a whole separate kit. And then I have my makeup other makeup. So I've just always accumulated a lot of makeup. And one thing, ladies, if you have a lot of makeup and you're not using it, like, what's the point? Like, you have to use what you have, because makeup is not cheap, even if you get it at an affordable price. And you really have to use what you purchase.
Right. Absolutely.
Hmm. So that's that. I'm on to blush next, Aaliyah. How about yourself? You're going to do powder. I'm going to do
Um,
cream and then set with powder. Anything that you use creamy on your face, you have to set with powder. So what are you going to do?
yeah, and you know what? I'm going to should I put another dark line under here, Asia,
If you have it,
for the
yeah.
contour?
Uh-huh.
But I don't have real contour
Right.
because, like I just said, I just have some eyeshadow.
You got a little
And so
shadow.
you remember too, it's important, everybody. Yes, you use a little lighter for your concealer and a little darker for your contour in your skin tone, and not too much darker than your skin tone.
Right.
You're going to use for contour and are going to be different, guys.
Absolutely.
Okay. just, just keep
Keep
that
that
in
in
mind.
mind.
You can't go too dark or too light.
No, you can't. You don't want to go
You don't
crazy.
need
Right.
too many steps beyond your
Yes.
complexion. You go a couple steps above and a couple steps
Below.
below. But
Absolutely.
I even think what I have is too dark because it's eyeshadow. So I had to like use a little red eyeshadow to kind of throw it off, like a little dark
Yeah.
mulberry, because the brown was, a little too
Too
much.
much. Absolutely.
The brown that I had.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't go, you have to be mindful and blend your contour. You do want to see a little bit of definition. Like I just took a little of the contour, and Aaliyah, you don't have this issue, but I do. My top lip is thinner than my bottom. So if you take a little contour and you just contour around your lips, it'll create a fuller pout. And then you're going to put your lipstick on at the end. But I do like to contour here. So, just different places that you can use contour. And you do not want to overblend contour. Like you want to give it a little bit of definition. So you want to blend enough. Like that's perfect, Aaliyah. So I wouldn't, yep, yeah,
It is?
yep.
Okay, I'm not gonna blend too much, and this again was not it's not even a brown, this is an eyeshadow that's like a red
Yeah.
color than this brown eyeshadow I
Hmm.
have, and my skin has like a reddish tone to it
Anyway,
anyway, so
yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I'm gonna do cream blush next. And you're gonna do powder
I don't have
blush?
any cream
No, you're gonna
blush.
do powder. I'm doing what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I'm gonna do the powder
Hmm.
version,
So I'm going to take.
and,
I like the L'Oreal.
and my niece got me this
Oh,
blush.
Armani.
What is this? Whose logo? Is this Armani?
Yeah, that's Armani GA.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, right, my niece got me
That's
this.
pretty. I remember seeing that. You pulled that out
I
before.
was about to say her name, but I'm not putting her government out there like that.
You showed me that shade before. That's pretty. I'm just using a little bit. I do like the Rare Beauty, and I love the L'Oreal. This is L'Oreal Lumi blushes. The liquid blushes, and you can see how
Mhm.
pigmented it is. Like I didn't even finish blending it, but you can see how pigmented it is. But we're going to fix that in a minute. But I did want to show everyone the pigment, and everything is high up on the face. So your blush should be higher up on the face, almost close to your eye. And we're going to fix that, the um, over blushing, with loose powder. So I'm going to use the.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the I'm sorry, the Laura Mercier translucent loose powder. And you have to make sure that you get yourself one of these triangular powder sponges, puffs. Aaliyah, do you have this? These are really inexpensive on Amazon.
I do. It's in
Okay.
a plastic bag, but I got it. I
Okay.
got it. I got it.
As long as you have it. Sorry, guys, that's my son's game.
Oh, I'm like, they don't know you're doing a video?
Oh my goodness. Stop. He plays.
I added some more concealer under my eyes because I just didn't think I had enough.
Okay. And you see how this triangle sponge really kind of gets in here? You can also carve out, if you did nose contour, you can carve out a little bit of your nose with the translucent powder. So the side of that contour, if you contoured your nose, we didn't get into that too much tonight. But if you were to contour your nose, you can take that side of that.
Explain to the peoples the difference between the translucent powder and the pressed powder, because you're gonna probably need to use a different technique, or if you're putting the translucent powder on versus the condensed compressed powder.
Right. So the translucent powder is usually loose, and that will absorb shine and mattify the skin. And a pressed powder can do all those same things, but the pressed powder, there's so many different formulas. So, like you have powder foundation, you have just a regular pressed powder, which will also set your makeup. So, all powders are going to set. It's just that the loose powders are really good for baking your under eye, and setting other areas of the face as well. But pressed powders come in various different textures as well. So again, powder foundation and like sheer. But all are used to set, which is the general kind of premise of all of that.
Yeah, and I'm using Fenty Beauty pressed powder right now, and
Okay.
it all depends on kind of like your preference, what kind of
Yes.
finish you want. If you want a matte finish, if you want a dewy finish, a shiny finish, what
Exactly.
kind of coverage you need. Do you need a fuller coverage because you may have some hyperpigmentation, and you may
Yeah.
have some acne or different things that you want to conceal. And then there's some people who may prefer a lighter coverage. So there's lots of different products out here. Now, Asia, I have the triangle sponge. So what should I be doing with this? Just going underneath my eyes with it?
Is that your
Well,
Fenty?
yeah.
Okay, so you
I
can
don't
do
want to
that.
cover my concealer though,
Right, so
right?
you can use that, right. I would suggest something like a loose powder for you, Aaliyah, but under the eyes if you're gonna bake. But if not, then you can take a powder puff, a powder brush, and just kind of put the powder all over. Like I'm setting again
Yeah.
with the translucent, the Charlotte Tilbury. These are really good too. I like this for under eye. So you can set with the
Yep.
Fenty, but as long as it doesn't have
Yeah.
super, like it's not powder foundation. Like, and then powder
Yeah.
foundation, you can use if you want to give your regular foundation more coverage, you can set with powder foundation on top of your liquid foundation for more coverage. But
Yep.
to
And now
bake
I'm gonna go back in
with your pressed powder, okay, oh, with your blush,
more blush. Yeah, I'm
more
gonna go
blush. That
back in
looks
with a little.
pretty. That looks pretty. But I don't know
And
if
this
everybody.
is a different blush than the one I used earlier because that was the Armani. This is MAC, and I'm just gonna
Okay,
do like
pop it.
my cheeks a little bit more. Yeah, pop it with a
Mhm.
lighter shade.
Yeah. I'm going to set my cream contour with this. I like this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. I don't know why I have so much Charlotte Tilbury. I do like her stuff though, but this is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. And I'm just going to go ahead and set my anywhere that I use the contour, I'm setting with the bronzer. And
Now I'm about to use my bronzer, and I usually use my. It depends. Sometimes I'll use a blush brush for the bronzer or a powder brush. What do you recommend for the
powder,
bronzer?
powder. And I like this
Use the powder
triangular
brush.
powder brush because bronzer, you want to kind of almost like a sideways three. So top of the forehead, kind of like cheekbone again, and then underneath this whole panel here is good for bronzer.
Give me that again.
So almost like a sideways three. Run that back, a sideways three. So top of forehead and a little bit in that contour that you already did cream.
Mhm.
If not, you can use your bronzer and then kind of like on the chin and down and a little on the nose.
Yeah, and sometimes everybody you can adjust that based off of your own preferences. Like if
Preference.
you tend to like I usually won't put the bronzer on my forehead because
Mhm.
I have a tendency to get shiny, but I'll always put like on my cheekbones and the bridge of my nose.
Right. Oh, and remember, Aaliyah, there's mm, bronzers that have a little bit more of a matte finish or glowy finish. So it just is a preference
Right.
again. Yeah,
It depends, right.
it
And I
depends.
usually use ones that have like a sparkly finish and a glowy
Okay.
finish. Hence the reason why I don't always put it in all the
All over.
places. Like,
Right.
but if you have like a matte bronzer and you just want to attract the light to those areas, it's different than the shimmer because you don't necessarily want the shimmer all over your face. Some people do
Absolutely.
though.
Some people do. Some people do. They don't mind that.
All
Absolutely.
right. So we're coming to the finish line
Mhm. Lips. What are we doing?
because we already finished eyes, right? Did you already put mascara on?
I did. Well, I have lashes on, so I would top with a little mascara.
Oh,
But
but
yeah.
you did talk about mascara.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
mascara is so important. Talk about the importance of mascara because
Let me tell
everybody
you.
doesn't give mascara the respect it's
Listen,
due.
and this mascara I have tons, but this Essence Princess, this is $5, and it is so good. I love the Maybelline Rocket. I love that one. I love the Lancome Idol. I love that one, but this one's really good. It's what I have in my little basket right now. $5, and you really
And
have to wiggle
you
and
don't
pull.
have to spend a lot of money on mascaras. There's a lot of great department store brands, but
So good.
drugstore brands, one of the oldest cosmetics companies in the world is Maybelline, and they have some of the best mascaras. This is a Maybelline right here. I can't, it's worn off which one
The
it is,
Rocket.
but
I love that. I have that.
yeah, but this is really good and can make you look like you have lashes, fake
Absolutely.
lashes on.
Fake falsies.
But
Oh,
you
are we gonna do?
definitely have to that your makeup is not complete without mascara, your look. And even if you're not putting on makeup and you just want to put on a couple of things, some lipstick,
Hmm.
your second thing should probably be mascara or some lip gloss, and your second thing should be some mascara
If you
because
have
that's
two
going to really,
seconds, put mascara on, it will really change everything.
even for young women or young girls,
Yes.
who don't like to wear a lot of makeup or don't know how to apply makeup, your eyeliner, your mascara, a little lipstick or a lip gloss,
Call it
and
a day.
a little foundation or a powder if you like it,
Hmm.
and bronzer. But really simple things you can do.
Simple
All
things
right,
you
so
can
we're
do.
on lip. What kind of lip are we gonna do? This is a natural, remember, day to nighttime look for Mother's Day, easy. What are we gonna do, Asia?
I'm going to do a kind of like a nude lip with kind of like glossy. So
Okay.
being as okay, so being as though you don't have this problem, I do. So I overline because I don't have much of a top lip.
If you
So
all are wondering what I keep looking down at, is I'm looking at my
oh,
mirror because it's
for-
hard to
it's
do
hard to see.
makeup from the phone.
It is me too. So I'm overlining and I'm using a brown lip liner. So I overline on the bottom as well as the top. So that is the NYX lip liner, and I'm just going to use, I'm really obsessed with MAC lipsticks. MAC lipsticks are just going to be my favorite forever. So I'm using the shade Blankety from MAC.
Okay. I'm trying to find a nice nude look
Okay.
right here in my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find something that's nude. I got something somewhere in a lip brush
And a lip brush.
because I never use a lip brush. I never use a lip brush. I always just use the lipstick itself.
Mm-hmm. No, I never
But I
use
know I had a lip brush.
a
I
lip
think I
brush.
have a lip brush. Is this a lip brush?
No. That looks like it, Aaliyah. I can't. That looks like eyeshadow to me from right here.
No, this is concealer. It says
Oh
it on the
Lord,
side.
you need skinnier.
All right. Oh Lord. I may not have working lip blush. Anywho, I'll make it. I'll figure something out.
I love this foundation. This is
Yeah. But thanks everybody for joining us. Again,
yeah, for
enjoy
sure,
the day.
for sure.
All the moms. Uh enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life. Live your
Um,
life.
you know,
We are all on
live
our
your
own
life.
trajectory, our own path. You have to enjoy your life.
Yes, and Asia, I want you to have a beautiful Mother's Day. Obviously, it's a sentimental time for us and especially for you. We mentioned earlier, your mother, my dear stepmother, did make transition, going on 6 years. Um, but she,
For sure.
anything want to share with everybody about your mom and just the mother?
It's a tough. I just want to say to those of us who don't have moms, well, firstly, those of us who their mom who do have your moms, honor honor your mother. Even if you have a bad relationship, with your mom, just hold a special place in your heart if that is possible and doable, for those who have that situation, unfortunately. But I think that, um if you are blessed to still have a mom, just make sure you call her. Never, try to never, I mean, ignore their phone calls or texts, or moms can be a little annoying sometimes, but just really pay attention, because that one day that they're gone is like, wait, you mean this is like forever ever, like until hopefully I see you again on the other side. Like, this is really, 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 um the finality of that is really, really hard. And so Mother's Day, for those of us without moms, is tough. It's a tough. We'll all kind of push through. I had a great mom on this earth, and Aaliyah had a great stepmom, and I mean, people still, 6 years, they still call me today, like tell me, share stories with me, or
Asia, what happened to your
I have no
camera?
idea. Am I back?
It's black.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't touch anything. And now I'm gone. My camera's on. I know my daughter called, and so, oh, that's so weird. But
Oh, why don't you leave and come back in?
okay,
Can you leave and come back in?
hopefully
Leave
that's
and then try.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that. Okay.
Okay. So everybody, we were just talking about my stepmother and Asia's mother. We have the same father, different mothers. And Valena, I called her Lynn. A lot of people called her Lynn. Nina, she was awesome. Still is awesome. She's one of our ancestors, and she shared so many. She passed on to us so many valuable things, and just things that we still carry with us to this day, just in terms of family and cooking. Hmm.
Great.
Um, she passed on to us her love of clothes and shoes and jewelry
Uh,
and bling and perfume. One of the things that I always receive a lot of compliments on is my fragrances, and I definitely get my love of fragrances from my stepmother, Lynn. She taught me all about the fragrances, and we love some perfume, baby. We're gonna pour it on.
we're gonna spray
We're
that
gonna,
perfume on. Let me tell you,
yeah,
two of
you're
my
gonna smell us
girlfriends.
coming.
You gonna smell us coming. I'm not wearing perfume that you can't smell. Sorry, not sorry. But two
It's
of
not
my
just for me; it's for
it's
everybody.
for everybody. Everybody's smelling me. Okay. Two of my really good girlfriends to this day. Um, One of them, my mom told her never to use. She called it eau de toilette, toilet water. And eau de toilettes are kind of fine. They're fine for some people because they're very, very light and airy, but not for my mother. And not. And she told people, don't use toilet water. Okay, light and airy
We
is
like the
not our
eau de
thing. We
parfum. The
parfum
eau de.
girls over here. Okay, don't do that. And my other girlfriend has been using, which I didn't even know this because some time had passed that I had actually spoken to her. And when we rekindled our relationship years later from being kids, she told me that she still wore Sam Sarah, which is an old school. Anybody who knows, my mom loves Sam Sarah. She
Mhm.
said, do you realize that
Yes.
not only do I wear Sam Sarah, but it's my number one scent to this day because of your mom? So
Yes,
that,
and I
yeah.
used to love Sam Sarah too, and I used
Hmm.
to wear it when I was a kid. But
Hmm.
yeah, so I scraped up some nude lipstick. I think it's a NARS color. I can't read the label and see what the shade is because I don't have on my glasses.
Hmm.
But it's like a light color, and I did a brown lip liner,
Okay.
and then I put a little bit of like a gold gloss
Okay.
on, like in the middle. I love a gloss. I love a lip pop,
Yep.
and
I love a good gloss
so.
too. You use the bronzy one, like a bronzy. That's pretty, Aaliyah. I see it. It's really pretty. It has like a little
That's
bit
a
of a
thing
mauve.
about
Yeah, it's pretty. I like that color. That's pretty. This one is. I've been wearing this one out too. The Huda Beauty, the faux filler.
Mhm.
I like a lot of plumpers. I told you before, but this one is the faux filler
Yeah, yeah,
gloss.
I don't need the plumpers, like, I don't have, like, full lips, but they're, like, nice size, I guess I
A
don't need
good
the plump,
size.
plus my lips are very sensitive, so I have to be
Mm,
careful of the products I use on my lips because they will get irritated.
irritated. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I talked about this before, Lee. You might like this L'Oreal Plump Ambition. Well, it is plumping, but it's the lip oil. These are really, really nice
I
too.
think I tried a plumper one time and
Mhm.
my lips started tingling, so never again.
Never again.
So, never, never, I'm not gonna trust the plumper.
Mm-mm.
Shout out to all the lip plumpers. Is I don't have anything against it, but so are we
Mhm.
good?
We're good.
Are we
I'm
finished?
good. Yeah.
Asia,
Oh,
is
Aaliyah,
there
we didn't do
anything? Oh,
highlighter. Highlighter. Everybody has to do a little highlighter. I'm using
highlighter.
highlighter. I'm using the Fenty.
Well, I
Any
thought
kind
we
of
did it, but I use my
no.
bronzer. I use bronzer.
If you want a little bit more like glow,
Hey,
then you're gonna.
Hannah. Hey, Hannah. I see you.
Hey, Hannah. If you want a little bit more glow, you can use like this is the Fenty one. This is the Duo one. The
Okay.
yeah, if you want a little bit more of a glow, but and then we did not spray. We did not use the setting spray. So I'm going to use the Power Grip Dewy setting spray. And then which one are you going to
I have
do?
Milani.
Oh,
I
the
just
Make It
picked this up.
Last. Yes, the Make It Last. That's really good. That's a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. So
Okay. Okay.
that's a dupe.
It's not a bad substitute. So how many
Yes.
sprays? And tell people why this is important, why the setting spray is important.
If you want your makeup to
Because everybody
last,
doesn't.
no, if you want your makeup to last and hold, then it's like hairspray, but for your face. You have to use the setting spray. You have to. I mean, honestly, you just really have to.
And setting spray is very reasonable. It's very reasonable,
Better.
and again, it's going to help your makeup last, especially if you're going out, for the whole day, going out for the night on the town, going to a special
Absolutely.
event, a wedding, or a big party.
Absolutely.
And thanks, Hannah. Thanks everybody who's joining us on this live. We appreciate y'all for tuning into
Thank you
Team
guys.
AC.
Yes, for sure. We're gonna spray.
Anything you want to share? We finished up our simple look. We were talking as we were demonstrating, so it took a little longer, but you could really do this look in 15, 20, maybe 25 minutes at the most, if you're
Sure.
taking your time.
Absolutely. All the things, contour included, guys. You can really do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Anything that you would like to share with the folks, with our viewers here at Team AC?
No, I just think that again, women just take time, just whether it is, you set aside 5, 10 minutes, like just something. And it doesn't have to always be, makeup. But when I do my makeup, like I said before, it's very therapeutic. If I'm getting ready, like I'll put on like some lavender oil diffuser and, diffuse or light a candle while I do my makeup or play relaxing sounds. Hey Siri, hey Google, play relaxing sounds for me. Like make it like a thing. We want to make it a thing.
Yeah, and it's self-care, like we said
Mhm.
earlier, it's self-care. It's something that you can do with your friends and family, not to sound corny, but it's something if you have a daughter or daughters,
Yes.
you guys can do your faces together, you can learn about makeup together,
Hmm.
you can shop for makeup together.
Hmm.
It's also something that you can do like you do like a girls' night out. You
Hmm.
could have a makeup artist in your area like Asia or find a makeup artist to come and do a tutorial.
Yes.
And it's like a pampering event. You could do that with your sisters or your cousins. So,
Yes.
and it is about self-care and it's about art and what is important always, but it's really important in this particular climate, in the US is family, friends, community,
Yeah.
spending time together. Like we said earlier, it's so important to value your loved ones while you have them.
Yes.
And yeah, so we just wanted to come hang out. This is a makeup and chill. It's
Mhm.
another episode of Team AC. And we wanted to salute to all the mothers, ourselves included, our own mothers, all the mothers in our family, and send love to everyone. Asia, how can everybody connect with you outside of YouTube?
Okay. So as I spray, everybody, when you do the setting spray, you want to really work the product in. Like, don't just spray and then done. Like, really spray, 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 almost till you choke
I'm
yourself.
sorry, I only did like 3 sprays. Should
No,
I have done more?
more,
Okay.
more than that if you want that makeup
More.
to last. Everyone can find me on my socials at Asia's Artistry on Instagram for the makeup portion of things, and then at Barton Realty Team for the real estate side of things. I transform faces, houses, and everything in between. But those are the easiest ways to access me. Hmm.
And Asia's, name is spelled
J.
AJA.
Hmm.
That's our dad named her, from Asia, the Steely Dan album, so it's
Hmm.
Asia's AJAS Artistry. She's
Yes.
out on all platforms, just wanted to
Yep.
make that note. And I am Aliya Crawford underscore on Instagram, Aliya
Mhm.
Crawford underscore. So definitely connect with us outside of YouTube. And please subscribe to the channel if you aren't, and like this video and share it. Uh, Thank you, everyone,
Yes.
for joining us.
Thank-
Everyone, have a wonderful Mother's Day and happy Mother's Day to all of the moms. I think that's it.
That's
All right.
it. We are good. Yep. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you. Take care of yourself.
Ha- Have a great weekend. Peace.
Peace.